Howdy, howdy, fellow movie fans, and welcome back for another edition of the Wisco Movie Watchers Podcast, brought to you by PTE Creative. As always, we're your hosts, Evan and Dylan Davies. Now, our last episode, Dylan came up with a fun idea for us, and truth be told, we're on vacation as these episodes are being released, so we wanted to have some fun for you, but make sure we got some episodes in the can for you as well. So, Dylan came up with the idea we had to make a movie out of the directors and actors that came up based on our birthday, and we get a couple more. So, who led your movie, Dylan? Back on that one.
We had a John Ford movie, John Ford Western, directed, starring Clark Gable.
And I got a dramedy directed by Michael Storr, who is the producer and director behind The Bear, in a dramedy following kind of midlife crisis Edie Falco around the world, highlighted by a cameo by Huey Lewis from Huey Lewis in the News. Mm-hmm. So, keeping that spirit, we were having a lot of fun because then we picked like 2 other days and made some fun out of it, including a Tim Burton movie starring Sean Connery was a highlight here.
Yes.
So, today's premise, we are picking movies from a specific date in history, and if the movie was released on that day, you can mishmash all the directors, you can mishmash all the actors to making the movie that you wish out of that.
Yeah. So, just real quick, I know I'm not going to pick my birthday, because just going through the events real quick, the first thing that comes up is the first movie studio by Thomas Edison is formed, that's cool.
Yeah.
But then, 1929, you have the Broadway Melody is released, and that's the second best picture winner ever, and it might be my least favorite of all of them. It's definitely up for grabs for if it's the worst or not. But then, other than that, I have, Roman Polanski flees the U.S. after he does what he does. Not good stuff to pick from. So, I'll be picking a random day.
No. So, do you have a random pick in mind? I picked mine. I looked at my birthday as well, and it was slim pickings, but I picked one just 2 days prior to my birthday to guarantee I had a good shot.
I'll do May 23rd.
That's not bad.
That'll be mine.
That's not bad. My pick, I went with July 3rd, because I wanted to guarantee at least one good movie.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what's going to be on mine. Let's see here, though. Okay, so we have...
Ooh, I'm working with some good shit here, dude.
I'm already up to the 1960s, and there's nothing.
Yeah, but you're May 23rd, you're going to have a lot of recent stuff, because that's the start of summer season.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I got The Shining.
Okay.
That comes out 1980. So to work with that, I have Jack Nicholson I could pick. I could pick Stanley Kubrick. I'll pick Stanley Kubrick as a director. I think that has to be a given.
What happens if you have a Spielberg release?
Oh, I do. Temple of Doom.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I said pick a summer date, so you had a shot, dude.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a movie in the same vein as remember Grindhouse?
Yes.
And Planet Terror, is that the other half?
Yeah.
Where it's dueling directors. They each make their own part. I'll have part directed by Steven Spielberg and then part directed by Stanley Kubrick. It'll just be a fucking crazy ass thing.
So essentially you're making Twilight Zone the movie again?
Yeah, except this is going to be more drama. Or I guess whatever Stanley Kubrick feels like making it, because I'm not about to tell that guy no.
That's
I have Once Upon a Time in America, so I could get De Niro in there. Just looking real quick. I don't know if this is kind of a cheat, because this isn't actually a movie that was released then, but Pulp Fiction wins the Palme d'Or in 1994.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, the last thing I have is from 2017, and that's just that Michael Bay gets his little Walk of Fame star.
Okay. That's not bad. So, in mine, I picked July 3rd specifically. I needed to have something to work with, especially because we thought my birthday was going to be really good for us in the last episode, and I kind of had Edie Falco and Edie Falco. So,
Yeah.
July 3rd, I rigged it so I knew I would get Back to the Future. That's the biggest headliner. But
Okay.
I will go in ascending order of what I can work with. Transformers is released in 2007. So I have good old Michael Bay and actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of blockbusters.
Now, I could go with Hamilton. Hamilton the movie is released on 2020, so I could have
Okay.
Lin-Manuel. Midsummer is released in 2019, so I got Florence Pugh in the back pocket here. I got Independence Day, so I can work with peak Will Smith. I got Jeff Goldblum. I got Men in Black 2, so I can add Tommy Lee Jones here. But, and then I also have a terrible movie apparently called Robot Overlords, which sounds terrible, doesn't look good at all. However, in this film is Ben Kingsley and Gillian Anderson, so at least there's something to work with there.
Wow.
Now,
This is when was that?
2015.
Okay, I was gonna say that sounds like something that they would just do because
Right.
it's a paycheck.
It's a paycheck. Now, other big heavy hitters here. Talking about real heavy hitters here. Cinematic masterpieces. Like Mike is released in 2002 on July 3rd.
Hey, hey, I love that movie.
You fucking do love that movie. And I have the whole of the NBA to cast in my movie if I want to because of
True.
Like Mike.
But you also have Jesse Plemons is in
Yep.
that movie,
Yep.
and he, I would argue, is like one of the best working actors at this moment.
He's very good. I also
I've
have
never seen him be.
I also have Despicable Me 2 and 4 to work with, so I can work with Steve Carell, I can work with Kristen Wiig, a lot of people in those movies that I can work with. But, again, I have The Amazing Spider-Man, so I can work with Andrew Garfield, Emma
Ooh.
Stone. So, not that I want Amazing Spider-Man, but those are two good actors to have, especially Emma Stone.
Well, I was gonna say Emma Stone is probably the best working actress at the moment. Like
She's
everything
up
she
there.
does is both interesting and super creative. Like she's really good at making choices at the moment.
She's hit the stride of... She's in the peak of decision-making plus creativity.
Yeah.
And the second big headliner besides Back to the Future, I can work with Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So I really have to
Okay.
come up with, do I want an action movie? Or do I want more of a comedy, drama, fun movie like Back to the Future? I think that actors I have at my disposal, I'll go with Robert Zemeckis as my director, as much as it'll piss everybody off.
So I just Googled, and I went to a different website and Googled movies released on May 23rd.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm working with. The newest Lilo and Stitch, not picking anything from there.
No.
Me Before You, not going to pick anything there. Blended, the Adam Sandler movie, not picking anything from there. So this is what I'm pretty much picking between. The Shining, Bruce Almighty, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, X-Men Days of Future Past, The Hangover 3, and then Temple of Doom.
Say what you will, X-Men Future Days of Future Past gave you a huge cast to work with that you could
Yeah,
work with.
I was going to say, that's like just a plethora of any actor I really want.
Honestly, I was looking. I told you Summer because I went. If there's just one superhero movie, you're gonna probably have a good ensemble of 3 to 4 people at the very least to pick from. I mean, just from Days of Future Past, you have Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry. You can go with Elliot Page if you wish as well. Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy. Like you got a whole.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence, you have a whole crew of people you can work with just from that movie
Yep.
alone.
So, director-wise, technically speaking, I actually have two Spielbergs because I have Lost World and Temple of Doom. Um, so, like I said, I think I'm gonna split it. I'm making two parts of a movie, part directed by Stanley Kubrick and then part directed by Spielberg.
Could I make a suggestion to you?
Sure.
I'm thinking early life, late life. Early
I was
life,
gonna say,
directed by Steven Spielberg, all hopeful and wonderful, and then it goes to shit, directed by Stanley Kubrick.
what I was picturing was like some kind of war story, and then all the future or not all the present stuff is directed by Kubrick because all his war movies are fucking miserable.
Right.
And then you have Spielberg as all the flashback stuff.
That's interesting. You could have a real heartfelt, like someone in the foxhole looking back at life.
I mean, it's got to be Harrison Ford, right? As my lead, it has to be.
Yeah, from who you got?
I mean, there's a lot of leading men that I could pick, but I mean, it's Harrison Ford. I gotta pick him, and I'm picking prime Harrison Ford, which I would argue might be Temple of Doom in terms of like both his charisma and how good he looks. It might be Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom, he looks great in. It's true.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you are working with a back injury in Temple of Doom, so he might be limited for filming, but...
True. We can always throw his stunt double in there, Vic Armstrong. We can throw him in there whenever Harrison Ford crashes a plane or
So
something.
you have a war film directed in two parts, with the flashbacks directed by Steven Spielberg, and the current gone to shit war shots done by Stanley Kubrick.
And then, if I have to pick Ke Kwan as he is in Temple of Doom, so as a kid, he'll be like a friend in the flashback stuff with Spielberg.
That's a possibility. Otherwise, I was going to say we can use your rules from before. You can put them in any which way you want. But I do like the idea of putting it where they were at the time, because that gives a lot of good mix and match capabilities.
And then his like little platoon of people. We'll put Jack Nicholson in there from The Shining. He can be like the hard ass captain who's always a prick, but you respect him.
I love him. I love him being a complete shitheel and then just taking a grenade and really dying a gruesome death at the end. I really love that idea.
I mean, and then the platoon can pretty much just be the entire cast of Days of Future Past.
Well, I'm saying you could have these really dramatic scenes with Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart in the war room, and Harrison Ford has to go back and forth and deal with. He could be like the haunted leadership position, where like Nicholson could be your crazy, and Harrison Ford has to be the one to relay all the messages, knowing he's putting his troops in danger, because you got Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen telling him, "No, you're gonna do this. You're gonna fucking do it like we tell you to."
Yeah, they can be like the what is it, general? Is that the top of the military?
Yeah.
And then I think the one other part that I would cast is in the flashback stuff with Spielberg. The dad's gonna be played by Jim Carrey. I think that'd be an interesting choice.
That's a really interesting choice. So,
and this is Bruce Almighty, Jim Carrey.
It's still a really interesting choice. I'd love. Why the fuck have they never worked together? Jim Carrey and Steven Spielberg. I understand Spielberg can't make comedies. Kate Capshaw herself told her husband, the greatest director of all time, she's like, "You don't do comedy. You can't do comedy."
Well, the thing is, he's good at comedy if he's not making a comedy.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of funny parts in pretty much all his movies.
Yeah.
But when he tries to make an outright comedy, it does not work.
No, it doesn't land. So, but I'm thinking, really heartfelt, Sandlot-esque comedy with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to think of like who would be the kid in the flashbacks, the younger Harrison Ford.
There's got to be a kid in the X-Men that could work.
I mean, I could throw Danny from The Shining in there, but that's really young.
It's way too young, especially if you have Ke Kwan as his, because that could be his. That could be what he's fighting for. He believes in the ideals of America, where Jim Carrey's this really accepting dad, where he's always accepting of Ke Huy Quan. You can have a really diverse cast set in like the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, and it's the end of the Nam War going forward.
And then Ke Huy Quan's dad can be the guy from The Hangover.
Ken Jeong?
Yes, I was like, oh, that's pretty good casting.
It's not bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, is there an X-Men actor that could... Who else do you have? May 23rd. What other movies you got? Just help me out here.
It was Lilo and Stitch, Me Before You, Blended, The Shining, Bruce Almighty, The Lost World, Days of Future Past, Hangover Part 3, and Temple of Doom.
So there's that one kid in Lost World. Actually, he could be a friend.
Technically speaking, I also have Son of Rambo, which I have not seen, but I know it stars a kid.
Something.
Yeah, he could be the young Harrison Ford, maybe.
I'm gonna do a quick search here, just in case we're missing a good one for you.
Yeah, I was thinking, I can't remember The Lost World because it's been so long since I've seen it.
I only know it because the thumbnail was up on Netflix the other night when I was watching the new Dallas Cowboy documentary.
The most I can remember about it is that it stars Goldblum and Julianne Moore. I think Julianne Moore will be my the mom who's married to Jim Carrey. I think that'd be a good fit.
That's fair. I mean, yeah, Sam Claflin.
I'm not seeing any kids.
Sam Claflin is too old to play that.
Oh, wait, no? Okay, so I got Joseph Mazzello, who is the kid in Jurassic Park, the young kid.
Okay.
And apparently he's in Lost World. At least he's listed as in the cast.
Okay.
So he'll be my young Harrison Ford.
You also have a movie called Addicted to Love, where you get like a younger, still an adult, but younger adult Matthew Broderick, and you get
yes,
peak of her powers Meg Ryan in 1997.
Yeah, I'm not throwing Meg Ryan in there. She's not gonna fit.
What are you talking about here,
Unless
man?
I could have her. I could have her as the mom instead of Julianne Moore.
You also have from Manic. You also have Don Cheadle to play with in there, which is another great piece, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who could be like the young member of the platoon with Harrison Ford.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is it's going to be a group of friends in the flashbacks, directed by Spielberg. So all the kids, and then the grown-up versions of themselves in the Stanley Kubrick part. So they're all in the same platoon, and then so to round it all up, or to summarize it all. A 2-part movie, part directed by Spielberg, starring Ke Huy Quan, Jim Carrey, Julianne Moore, and then the future stuff is the actual war part of it, directed by Stanley Kubrick, starring Harrison Ford, and then the side characters are all going to be Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, Hugh Jackman. Is there anyone else that's huge? Oh, I could put, Joseph Gordon-Levitt would be like a good young soldier. And then, I think that'd be a great movie.
You got Hugh Jackman to play with there. You could have Fassbender being like an enemy soldier that they have to deal with at one time.
Yeah. Yeah, he could be a good Nazi.
I was going to say, what war is it set in? That's the question. What war do you set it in?
I mean, you got to pick World War II, right?
Because the other thing, I'm just saying for more integration, you could do Kubrick does Nam really well, man.
Well, oh yeah, actually that'd probably fit better.
And it'd be you'd have the loss of innocence kind of themes throughout, because you have all those innocent moments with Spielberg's direction going into the loss of innocence with Kubrick.
Yeah. Oh, and then also Jack Nicholson and the future stuff.
Exactly.
That's my movie.
That's high quality, if there's ever been one. Also, I do have an additional movie. It's just from the thumbnail alone, has to be terrible. It must have been directed movie or directed DVD. It's called McKenna Shoots for the Stars. It's got to be some garbage little kids movie, but valuable character actress Nia Vardalos, who's most known for My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Okay, yeah.
She is.
I'm looking at yours now too.
She's a part of that, so I think that's a good character actor to have. I'm just looking at Hamilton here. Some cast here. I got Anthony Ramos, which is good to have. They all kind of work well, the Hamilton cast, for a movie that is led by Michael J. Fox. There's no way I can go with anyone except Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think the best actor in Hamilton is Leslie Odom.
Yep.
He's great. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other leading men that you have.
Well, I have Arnold.
You got Arnold. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf, technically.
I got Andrew Garfield. I've got Lil Bow Wow.
You have Florence Pugh.
I have Josh
Midsommar.
Duhamel from Transformers. I have
Yeah.
who else is in fucking Transformers? I have Tyrese Gibson from Transformers.
Yep. You have Megan Fox from Transformers.
The question is, what kind of movie? Because I have so many pieces. I have a lot of good pieces to work with, especially if I have a comedic tone.
Wait, who is your director?
I'm gonna go with Zemeckis because I don't.
Okay.
I think James Cameron would be great with half the guys we said at the last part that we just joked about, but I don't think that's the kind of movie we want. You know?
Yeah. Well, okay. Okay? So also, I'm looking up Transformers, the first one. You also have Anthony Anderson.
Yep.
John Voight.
John Turturro.
John Turturro, and then doesn't someone famous voice Megatron?
Yeah. It's Hugo Weaving.
Okay, yeah.
It's high quality, and also I got what's his name? I got the voice of Optimus Prime. It's gonna drive me crazy.
It's Peter Cullen.
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now.
Great voice actor.
Why didn't you pick Michael Bay? The best director on that list.
Do I really have to tell you that? The question is, what kind of movie do I go with? I'm going with Michael J. Fox. That's undeniable. The best option I have is leading man 1985 Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, well, the question is, what era Zemeckis are you picking? Because you got the mid '80s where he's doing like really fun, innovative stuff like Back to the Future and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
And then you have late stage Zemeckis, which is like Castaway is 2000. And then you have like just weird choices too, like Beowulf and shit like that. Like he does a lot of like very. I'd say he makes it hard on himself with his choices.
A lot of the time, yeah. I also get Forrest Gump in that category as well, so...
Yeah, yep. You also have Jim Carrey, A Christmas Carol, that one that he did.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm glad you said Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because I want to go... I think that's the way to go. Is a mix of reality...
Yeah, you have a good voice cast.
I have a huge voice cast here from Despicable Me and Transformers alone, but all the actors I said, they're great talents to have in your movie, but do they really fit in the tone? So I gotta think, what's a good animation basis where it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit, a little bit more serious, obviously not so loony, crazy, over the top like Roger Rabbit.
I think it kind of has to be, doesn't it?
A little bit. I thought about, because you could do a little bit more serious.
Here's a question. If you only get one of the studio to use their characters, are you picking Looney Tunes and Warner Brothers, or are you picking Disney?
Oh, great question.
because somehow they got both. I don't know how they got both.
It's called Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg is the reason they got both. They made a deal.
The fact that Disney is like pretty much dead at that point.
Oh yeah, they needed something to happen, and they had Michael Eisner.
Yeah.
They had Michael Eisner at a time when Eisner was coming off of a lot of big hits for Paramount, and he was willing to take risks. That's one thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people shit on Michael Eisner, and I completely understand it from Park's perspective in the 90s. It was all about... He created the institution that we know of corporate America, Disney, that why people want Disney. He really did.
I also think... What I would say is he's one of the grandfathers of a broken system.
Yes, he is. I mean, it's a double-edged sword with that.
Yeah. So you're doing a hybrid movie.
I think I gotta have a hybrid movie with all this.
Okay.
Here, I got an idea. I'm gonna go.
I was gonna say, who are you picking as live action people, and who are you picking as animated people?
So here's what I got for you. I think I gotta somehow get Arnold in live action. Got to.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have Arnold as just a voice actor because it becomes too much.
He does work as another voice actor, though.
I know, but I just...
Because his voice is just so distinct.
And I don't want to say buddy cop, but it's the first thing I thought of.
Hey, you could do Christopher Lloyd again, just like Roger Rabbit.
We just do... we could just do a twisted animation revival, like live action animation hybrid of Rick and Morty, essentially, with the heart of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is tough, man. Because I got so many pieces to work with. It's almost like, this is a perfect example why dream teams don't work in sports. Because you have so many pieces, you have so many mouths to feed, and all of a sudden you're like, well, we can't focus, and that's why we can't win big time.
Yep.
We'll get kind of far, but we'll never win big time. Because my problem is, I got this outstanding piece, this duo of Zemeckis and Fox, and then I've got the most valuable piece in Hollywood history for 15 years in Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just sitting here.
Yeah.
And what do I do with it?
Well, who are you picking as the female lead? Emma Stone or Florence Pugh? Because those are kind of your two big options.
Here's what I'm thinking. Roll with me. I'm going to go Florence Pugh. Okay. I'm going to go noir-style animation. A little bit darker, but then you can get a voice cast that can be a little bit more serious with some animation. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking a little bit more black and white, drabber color style, but you still have some humor in there. A little like Back to the Future, a little bit darker.
I was going to say, you're pretty much doing Roger Rabbit if it was a true noir movie.
Closer to noir. Yeah, closer to noir. Okay? I got that. I'm going to have Arnold be my heavy for Michael J. Fox.
Okay.
So, upgraded, like, cameo plus. I can't have Arnold the whole time, but I can have cameo plus Arnold.
Oh, okay.
So that way I have some of the magic, but I don't have all the other stuff that has, like, to me, Arnold's a star you have to cater to. You have to build the movie around Arnold's strengths and hide his weaknesses. Where Michael J. Fox you can kind of just roll with. So I'm thinking I want Emma Stone as my villain.
Oh, okay. That's a weird choice, but I like it.
So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go Florence Pugh is kind of my Catwoman-esque anti-hero love interest.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, Emma Stone, corrupt heiress, trying to, like, do nefarious shit.
Oh, and you still need to pick Disney or Warner Brothers.
I know. I'm getting there. So, because the other thing, I could just do Universal Animation as well. Because I have Despicable Me.
Do you really want that?
No, I was fucking around. But I could just do I could just do a Mario movie with Michael J. Fox then.
I absolutely despise the Universal, like, Illumination Studios.
Despise is harsh.
I think all their movies are so ugly.
That's fair. If it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup. I don't think. I don't think
Yeah.
that's the right word for it. It's
Well,
not
it's
my.
not. It's not also going for me as a marketed our audience. It's going for kids
Yeah.
because it's so bright and colorful, and I'm like, it looks ugly.
Okay. So I'm trying to find a way to make this a serious movie. Not too serious, but serious enough. I'm gonna go. Actually, the animation is kind of dreamland. So you're working with a real life crime, then you got some dreamland-esque shit in it. So that's how you can get all the animation in. Right? So I've got Arnold that's real life heavy. I got Christopher Lloyd, gotta have him as an advisory role to Michael J. Fox. It's only fair, it's only right. I'm gonna have Michael J. Fox be young detective on the prowl.
Okay.
Alright?
Oh, so you could have Christopher Lloyd almost doing his Professor Plum kind of thing.
Yes. Same year. So it's not far
Yep,
off.
same year.
I'm gonna have Andrew Garfield be Michael J. Fox's downtrodden brother. Whether he's older or younger is a different story.
Spider-Man 2?
Well, it's just the Amazing Spider-Man, but he was like almost 30 when he did the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, it was the first one. Okay.
Yeah, it was 2012. So how old is Andrew
I think
Garfield in that movie?
Late 20s, I'd have to assume.
Yeah,
I think he looks older than Michael J. Fox does in Back to the Future.
that's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna have downtrodden brother who gets in too heavy because he's in a relationship with Emma Stone and finds out too much about what Emma Stone does. She's running like a drug trade. That's how you get into Dreamland a lot. Some like illegal substances of some kind. You got Michael J. Fox, appropriate use of these substances. And that's how he gets to Dreamland. And then I can have that entire voice cast there. I'm going to have the captain of the police be Steve Carell.
It's a good fit.
Okay, so his older cop that he has to keep on the straight and narrow is Christopher Lloyd, and his young cop is Michael J. Fox.
Are you going to have comedian Steve Carell or serious Steve Carell?
I'm thinking dramedy level Steve Carell.
Okay.
I don't want Brick Tamlin, but I also don't want Foxcatcher.
Well, you could, and it'd be awesome.
So that's why, because I don't like, if I go straight comedy, I'm just making another version of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I want to use.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I want to use people that have comedic talent. It's like Back to the Future is a fun movie, but it's serious. Everything is taken seriously. It's very sincere, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll put Crispin Glover in as the weird, slimy second villain. He'll be the piss boy for Emma Stone.
Oh, that's another person you could pick as your lead actress as well.
Leah Thompson and Claudia Wells.
If you didn't want to pick Florence Pugh.
I gotta get Florence Pugh in there somewhere, and I think Florence Pugh would be a really good femme fatale that it ends up on the good side of the tracks versus the wrong side of the tracks.
Sure.
Because I'm thinking of it this way.
By the way, Andrew Garfield is 29.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's almost fucking 30 years old, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. Now this is shaping up. I got Crispin Glover as my piss boy, slimy villain. Emma Stone is what looks to be like, let's say it's a murder mystery of some kind, and then there's some Dreamland shit that helps figure this out. So that's how I get my animation in there. That's how I use the Josh Duhamels and the Tyrese Gibsons, and I'm gonna put Tyrese Gibson as a heavy for Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Charismatic heavy. And then I'm gonna see Tyrese versus Arnold in this.
Oh, I thought Arnold was also a bad guy.
No. He's got to be.
Oh.
Arnold's got to be a hero at this point. Come on now.
Okay.
Come on now. Because
Is anyone in the police precinct gonna mention how he's just an Austrian bodybuilder?
Oh yeah. They're just gonna be like, he's really big, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, he's more muscular than any of the animation.
I'm thinking like I get kindergarten cop level Arnold, where he can play a little bit more bumbling, and I can make him my comedic relief character, but then also at the end he gets to be the hero, and everyone's like, fucking Arnold! Yeah!
I think you also should just throw Megatron in there.
Well, then I can have Hugo Weaving as my my villainous, like, corporate overlord MacGuffin villain.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I've got him, and he's like Emma Stone's dad. So he is evil from the sense of capitalism, but he's not evil from the sense that he's the big plot driver.
So what I would say your movie is kind of RoboCop-esque, where you have Red Foreman as one of the villains.
Yes.
And then you also have the corporate Ronnie Cox.
Yeah.
As another villain.
Yeah. So I've got some MacGuffin villains in there. Not MacGuffin, but I've got some fake out villains in there. I got some twist villains in there. And then I have everyone to play with the voice cast as well. We'll get young Jesse Plemons in there to be a kid who is hurt in some way, shape, or form. Let's say the parent that was killed is Jesse Plemons' parent. Let's say Josh Duhamel's the one who gets killed. And then Andrew Garfield, the brother, he knows about it. He was in too deep. So, Michael J. Fox is trying to find his brother and solve the crime at the exact same time. Is this all making sense? I'm making this up on the fly here. So.
Oh, yeah, no, it makes sense, yeah.
And we're going to have a little Bow Wow cameo in the harsh neighborhood.
I was going to say you should pull a Sleepaway Camp and just have a 5-minute basketball scene. Has nothing to do with the movie.
Top Gun-esque playing with the boys, but it's basketball.
Yeah.
And I get all the NBA circa 2001, 2002 as voice actors.
Yeah, so on the poster you got Steve Nash.
Yeah. Chris Webb. Jason Kidd's on there.
Dirk. And then Allen Iverson.
Yep. And then I also get Morris Chestnut. He's going to be another one of my cops. Yep. He's going to be one of my cops and be a good dude. I think what we're working with here is a great cast.
Can you do a poll on YouTube?
Sure. Yeah, we can make a poll.
Oh, you can. I think you should put up a poll. Who wins, my movie or yours?
Well, you mean this fever dream that I've created because of the pieces I was given?
Mine is just as much.
Yours is somewhat coherent.
I have two different directors.
That's the problem. See, yours, that's the fever dream of yours, but at least there's a coherent through line. Mine's just, all these people are in it. It's great.
Yeah.
There's some animated shit in it.
I don't know. They're about equally bonkers.
But yeah, we'll have some fun with it. This is going to be a heck of a lot of fun here. Making this. I also just love that Emma Stone doesn't play the villain. Ever.
No. I mean, she's too likable.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to make her the villain.
Because even when they did Cruella, she's not the villain.
Yeah, she's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Because she's set up to be the villain and then still be likable in the end and be the hero. Which, by the way, Cruella, underrated. Love Cruella. It's mostly because it's just Emma Stone.
Don't like it.
I like the punk rock influences of Cruella as well. I thought that was a very nice touch that they added there.
Yeah.
But, alright, so recap yours quick. As coherent as possibly, and I'll do the same for mine.
To streamline it, you got 2 parts of a movie. First part directed by Spielberg. Second part directed by Stanley Kubrick. It's a Vietnam War movie with Kubrick. And Spielberg is all flashbacks about the kids and their family growing up in the, we'll say, 60s. Just to be, late 50s, actually.
Yeah, late 50s.
To make the most sense. Ke Huy Quan is in the flashbacks. The other kids Who knows? We'll figure it out. The other actors in the Spielberg stuff is Jim Carrey and Julianne Moore. And then the Stanley Kubrick part is full-on war movie. And it's the stars Harrison Ford. And then rounding out the other cast, you got Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, Hugh Jackman, Jack Nicholson, Ian McKellen, and Patrick Stewart.
You using Jeff Goldblum at all in there?
He can be in the Spielberg part. He fits definitely more with that.
You gonna use Jennifer Lawrence anywhere?
Nah.
And
she's phoning it in all those X-Men movies.
The first one she was somewhat trying. Days of Future Past isn't. Days of Future Past is not where she quits. She quits in Apocalypse. That's where she's like, dude.
I still don't think she's good in any of them, honestly.
That's fair.
It doesn't seem like she's bringing her A game, so yeah.
And then you said Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going to be in this film as well as one of the younger soldiers, right?
Yeah. He'll be one of the younger platoon.
You going to use Don Cheadle at all in that?
He can be in the flashbacks.
Okay. We're really making a picture-perfect, idealistic version of I Like Ike America that's very diverse in a good way. And it all goes to shit in Kubrick's Vietnam take.
Very much America is the powerhouse of the world at that point.
Okay.
Oh, also, I get Bradley Cooper from Hangover 3.
I was going to say, you got Zach Galifianakis. You got Ed Helms.
He won't fit. Neither of those two fit.
Honestly, if you didn't want to use Jim Carrey, Ed Helms would be a good choice for like the nice dad. He has some heart.
Yeah, but I like Carrey more.
Are you gonna? I think Zach Galifianakis could be a great comedic relief for a Kubrick era. Like, god damn, this is awful.
I mean, as much as I'd like to see that, I wouldn't put him in there.
You also already have Jack Nicholson just being Jack Nicholson, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And Jack Nicholson, what would he be? Would he be a baby face? Would he be a heel? Would he be a tweener? What's he going to be?
He's a heel. He's the kind of guy where he's always a dick. He follows the rules a little too much. You hate him for that, but you also love him.
So you're having a rule-following Jack Nicholson. That's a really interesting twist.
Yeah, especially because that's like the exact opposite of his Shining character.
Yeah, that's a really interesting twist. Okay, so both of us have a really different take on an actor from what they're known for. All right. So I've got an animation live-action hybrid, very neo-noir or noir style, set in it, let's just go Maltese Falcon era, early 40s.
40s, yeah.
We can have some wartime drama. Ooh, that's a good cameo. Is Arnold can be like an American volunteer soldier who's trying to get people to go into the war effort.
He could be an American spy because he fits so well into like he could pull off Nazi Germany.
I do like that. American Spy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's not really what. So I've got a live action animation hybrid, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd once again. The main love interest is a femme fatale, Catwoman-esque Florence Pugh from Midsommar. I've got that age range Florence Pugh to go with Michael J. Fox. I've got Michael J. Fox's brother is Andrew Garfield, who got in too deep with the true villain, even though you don't know she's the true villain until the end, which is going to be Emma Stone, and she's like a rich heiress. And she's using her connections to do this. And all the animation comes in this dreamland style, where it's very noir set, but there's then some pop of color through the animation.
Maybe Emma Stone's father could be Tommy Lee Jones.
Well, I think Tommy Lee Jones, just because he'd love it so much, I have him as a voice actor, because he would just take it so seriously.
Yes.
I can have Will Smith as a voice actor that way. I can get Rosario Dawson's in Men in Black 2. Who else is in Men in Black 2?
Fuck if I know. I haven't seen that in forever.
I think I just watched part of it because Ab watched it months ago, and I was like, what the fuck are you watching? Like, why are you watching Men in Black 2? What are you doing?
Yeah, I only
What are you
remember
doing?
those three.
I got Rip Torn. I can have him there as a voice actor as well.
Yes.
But I think he'd be a real great old curmudgeon cop. Because I got Steve Carell as my head of police, who is dramedy, so he can still do some comedy, but he's a hard ass.
You do have Johnny Knoxville.
Hey! Alright, so Johnny Knoxville has to be part of the animation crew.
You actually have a couple, like, very good character actors. Because you also have David Cross and Tony Shalhoub.
Yep. I also get Nia Vardalos is in this picture in some sort. She's going to be my diner. She's going to be in the diner as my waitress, kind of just bring us back to reality a little bit more. I like this. And then I got Hugo Weaving as an evil businessman, but he's not actually the true heel of this film. He's just evil because he's a capitalist, and we don't like that.
Okay.
And I got Josh Duhamel as a murdered dad. Tyrese Gibson is the heavy for the heel team. Crispin Glover is the piss boy for Emma Stone. And then what else do I have in this movie? And Jesse Plemons from Like Mike is also the kid in this movie.
I have one last question. Right. Is Ben Kingsley going to be in the live action part, or is he a voice?
Great question. I didn't think of Ben Kingsley.
He's got because he has a pretty distinct voice.
Yes, he does.
Where I would see him fitting in animation.
You know what? I like him playing a dual role. Because I think a lot of them could do dual stuff. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Yeah. But I think the most interesting way to do it is to have him be, if I'm only going one person as a dual role, I like him as a strained father to Michael J. Fox and Andrew Garfield. And it's a strained relationship, but the whole time the guiding voice in the Dreamland aspect is Ben Kingsley. And that's how they kind of make up at the end, as he realizes that the wisdom his father gave him the whole time is actually how he's going to solve this shit. Kind of like this. It's all, yeah, I like this. I like this setup here. It's getting a little bit more coherent. It's still incoherent as fuck. And we're going to have James Cameron commenting on the sidelines, saying, I could have done this movie better, and the Titanic was rigged, and oceanography is important, and...
I was going to say, maybe James Cameron could do, like, second unit stuff, like action, but... I think he'd take that as an insult.
No. I'm going to have him do second unit action on some noir car chases. I'm going to have him do some of the...
actually, technically, this is still T2 James Cameron. So this isn't post-Titanic James Cameron, where he's full-blown egomaniac.
I mean, he's still an egomaniac on T2. The Abyss is where it's obvious that, whoa, this guy's got an ego.
Yeah, but as soon as Titanic won... all the Oscars, that's when he goes, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Correct. So, yeah, I'm going to have him do some car chases and some explosions. I'm thinking, like, I want the look of this to kind of be Batman the Animated Series in live action. You know what I'm saying? Just that dark noir tone. Pops of color here and there, but it's still very blacks and grays and whites to be my distinction.
I would love the whole thing to be black and white.
I would be here for it.
40s.
I'd be here for it. I just think the animation could use a little pop of color, just a little bit. Like those Fleischer. I'm sure you haven't watched them all the way through, but have you seen any clips of like the old Fleischer Superman cartoons from like the 40s and the 50s?
Mm-mm.
Just look it up on your phone quick, just to see the look of it. I think that's a great color palette for Dreamland, where it still has this noir aesthetic and this Art Deco style, but the color palette really uses that to its advantage, but it's not so over the top color that you're like, Jesus Christ, this is absurd.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah,
so that's the kind of look I want for both the animation and the live action portions, Batman the Animated Series and the Fleischer Superman cartoons. And also, I'll throw Lyndall Hamilton in there as some crazy bitch, because that's what James Cameron thinks Lyndall Hamilton's best at. So she'll be a villain. She'll be one of my drug runners as a lower level tier villain who you think could be one of the big bads, but actually isn't one of the big bads, and is all just a distraction for part of the swerve to get to Emma Stone as our major villain.
Are you using New York as your city?
Ooh.
Because Spider-Man or Amazing Spider-Man's New York. Independence Day, you could use DC, I guess. Um, I don't know where Terminator's set.
Terminator set in
California?
Southern California.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then Back to the Future, it's more like a small town vibe.
Yeah, I don't. I think Hill Valley's too small. I think LA could
As
still
a,
work.
I think if you're doing true noir 1940s, New York is the
Yeah, I'm
place.
thinking New York is there, and I love the idea of Arnold as a spy, and that's how we find out Emma Stone has some connections that we're like, don't know all about you. And then you
Hmm.
could have the big opulent ballrooms and all that kind of stuff. Like you still have all that tension coming out of the Depression, where there's all this opulence with the rich, and you still have all these poor people coming up back into the world, into the middle class again, but they still have all that tension of all these rich fucks that fuck them over. And then you can have that as a natural tension, and then you have to break the tension back down to make Emma Stone and some of our villains believable good guys, and then they're back to heels at the end. I like that. And yeah. And then I want Old Man Peabody as a Nazi from Back to the Future, and I want Tom Wilson as a
Tom
Nazi.
Wilson.
I want him,
Okay.
and then just to get the real nod back, whoever played um, who Goldie Wilson, whoever that actor is, I want him working in the
Yeah.
diner with Nia Vardalos, so that we can do full circle Back to the Future once again with Goldie Wilson, but we'll still name the mayor Goldie Wilson. It'll just be someone different.
It'll be Leslie Odom from Hamilton.
Yeah, Leslie Odom will be my mayor. I like that.
Yeah, I would love to see that 1940s where a black man is the mayor of New York
Yeah,
City.
no, we're going. Well, the other thing I thought about is just to have the tone. We're gonna go retro futuristic. So
Okay.
Batman the Animated Series retro futuristic. Where you still have blimps, and you still have all this wild shit,
Oh,
and everyone's still in like trench
okay.
coats and the big round beautiful cars. But then you have like computers from the '90s. That's what I want. That's the esthetic I'm going for. This is working. And I'll have Anthony Ramos as my and Lin Manuel Miranda. We're gonna have them as newspapermen running around.
Okay.
And Megan Fox can be just a random party goer that you see one time, and she has one line, and that's it.
That's fair. I wouldn't put her in there at all just because. Well, this is actually Transformers 1, Megan Fox, so it's not as bad.
Here's what I'm also thinking. Actually, one of my newspapermen is going to be Shia LaBeouf.
See, if that was my date, Shia LaBeouf would be my bad guy.
And then I'm going to have Megan Fox be an obnoxious ex-girlfriend of Michael J. Fox, and she leaves messages on his answering machine constantly, like to call her and all this other stuff, and he's just like, please fuck off. Just, oh god. But she's so undeniably hot that you're like, yeah, I get it. Like, you only get the voice for like the first half of the movie, and then you see her at one of the parties, and you're like, yeah, I get it.
That fits.
And that's just a nice little comedic tone all the way through, and then she ends up with the doc. That's how it'll be. Don't know how we're gonna make that work. We'll figure it out though.
That's an age gap.
Yeah, it's the 40s. No one gives a fuck.
That's true.
Yeah, 50 year.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Look at North by Northwest. Fucking Cary Grant, and then is like second, like 20 years younger than he is.
Yeah, Eva St. Marie. She's pretty young.
Maybe we'll end up at Mount Rushmore, uh, just like they did in North by Northwest. I really like this, but that is my film, and this has been a fun project nonetheless. This is another thing we can go back to the well on, and do this quite a
Oh
bit.
yeah.
Because before we did this, I suggested maybe Barbenheimer weekend. You'd have 2 guaranteed big casts, big hits to work with. So maybe we'll do that in the future, and we'll see. Or maybe just rework another cast from history, like a big ensemble cast from history, rework it into a new movie. I kind of dig that as well. But did you enjoy this one?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it's fun to just figure what the fuck this would be and have some fun with it. So we hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did making it up in our head. Also, go to the comment section. Throw in what movie you think it could be. What, pick a date for yourself, or give us a pitch. Figure out what you could do.
And vote for who you think has the better movie.
That I don't think that'll be a hard discussion at this point, but
you never know.
You have at least coherent ideas for Kubrick and Spielberg. I have no coherency. I'm just making this shit up for Robert Zemeckis. And I have James Cameron as my second unit director. Like, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? But that will do it here, folks. Let us know what you think in the comment section and throw out another couple days and see. Or just give us some movies to mix and match. Maybe we'll do this as a recurring segment. It could be a heck of a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, wherever you are. Peace, love, and hugs to you all. Goodbye!